The power of many. The power of one. The power of two. The power of many.
What the hell are we watching? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here at Echo Base Network. Just watched the third episode of The Acolyte, and I gotta say, let's just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off. This is the worst episode of Star Wars in any medium, any show, any animated series, anything I've ever seen. This isn't just one of the worst episodes of Star Wars I've ever seen. This is one of the worst episodes in television history. And there are actually people online talking about how great this episode was. What? Well, thank goodness Forbes actually gets it right. The Acolyte Episode 3 review, one of the worst Star Wars episodes ever made. They came out with that right after the episode dropped. They absolutely trashed this thing. I mean, look, the third episode of Disney Star Wars The Acolyte is an embarrassment to the entire franchise, though the same could be said for so much Star Wars these days outside of Andor. I agree. Way to go, Forbes. Here's one exchange between two characters. May, the Jedi are bad. Osha, the Jedi are good. Later, the same two characters, the twin protagonist-antagonist of the story, as children in this flashback episode say to one another, "What have you done? What have you done? What have you done?" It is ridiculous. There are many contradictions in this episode, like talking about the Force at all. The witch mother number one, whatever her name is, talking about how the Force is also called the thread. We call it the thread, children. Some people call it the Force, but for us it's the thread. And the thread controls your destiny. 20 minutes later, the thread has nothing to do with your destiny. It's all about your choice. You get to choose. What? What you just said? Another thing that they did, talking about the thread or the Force being used as a weapon, saying that it's never used as a weapon. Then later, 5 minutes later, it's a weapon. Like, what are we doing? Are you serious? Like, the writing is so bad. And look, the two little girls that played May and Osha in this episode, bless their hearts. I know that they probably did the very best they can. I'm not hating on them, but it was cringe childhood acting. It really was. It's a failed director. It's failed producer. They didn't set those girls up for success, and I feel bad that those two young ladies are going to have to carry on with this, on their resume. We were in The Acolyte. That's going to be the death sentence on a lot of people's careers because this show is proven to be so bad. What are we watching? Seriously. This show is turning into being about a lesbian coven of witches and just the two survivors of it. That's it. That's what the show's about. And I guarantee you the whole dynamic between Osha and I think that's her name, and May, like, they thought each one had died, and then 16 years later, oh my gosh, they're still alive. But we're still having this falling apart, and it was your fault that you killed everybody, and it was your fault that everybody died. But in the end, you just watch. They're going to ride off into the sunset together, probably saying that cringe dialogue that you already heard.
I am with you. Always one, born as two. As above sits the stars, and below lies the sea. I give you you, and you give me me.
But that's not all for the cringe moments.
I told you this planet would be safe haven for our coven. It is not going to stay safe if Osha keeps running away. I carried them. I created them. And what happens if the Jedi discover how you created them?
And that's probably going to be, look, that's how Palpatine made Anakin. That's what they're going to do. Get ready, folks. They're going to let Leslie Headland decide how Anakin Skywalker was created. Just watch. I'll kill you.
Take him
May literally locks her into this room, sets the place on fire, and leaves her sister for dead. Yeah, that literally happens. The place is burning to the ground. And then Osha, the good one, takes this electronic panel out of the wall and hotwires it so that she can escape. And then they have this explosion, and then they have this little face-off right here. May and Osha on the bridge. I get Star Trek Generations vibes from it.
Where's Mama?
Where's Mama? Mama's dead.
Where's Mama? Mama's dead. What have you done? What have you done? What have you done?
What have you done? What have you done? What have you done? The Jedi are bad. The Jedi are good. The Jedi are bad. This dialogue is horrible. And here's another part that I thought was really stupid. Jedi Master Soul, who he happens to be a bright spot in the show, look how long he holds this 50-pound girl before he starts to actually save her. Look at this. Grabbed her. Still grabbed her. Still got her. Lift her up. She's crying out for help. Do you have me? Lift me up. Dude held her for 10 seconds, guys. Just sitting there holding her. You got the Force. You're a grown-ass man. Lift the little girl up and save her life. It's just nonsensical stupidity. And what happened to Jedi being devoid of all attachments? Guess the early Jedi didn't have that rule.
Osha. You'll never feel like this, okay? I promise.
Forbes writes, the entire episode is a bad joke. We learn that May and Osha lived with their mothers in a society of lesbian witches, all of whom are female. It appears they were conceived using the Force or something. Force-using witches are also apparently frowned upon in this galaxy. They call the Force the thread. And Forbes says that they're getting a dark side vibe there, which is, I agree. The Jedi show up, and the Jedi didn't like that. Osha and May fight with one another constantly and are very, very irritating throughout the episode. I could not agree more. So why did the Jedi Torben kill himself after a 10-year slumber, a 10-year meditation? He wakes up and he felt so guilty about something that he drank the poison to kill himself, so May actually didn't have to kill him. What was all of that about? None of that was explained in this. May started the fire, but did she really kill everybody? Or are they going to go back and they're going to make the Jedi look bad in the next episode? Something else happened. You saw all of the bodies, all of the witches dead on the ground, laying, like they did some kind of massive, suicide or something. We're going to see what happens there, maybe, I guess. Can you believe that this show cost $180 million to make? $180 million. Like, what are you thinking? This is awful. Wonder what those critical reviews are going to look like after this one. The guys are probably still going to be loving it, loving everything that Disney does, but there's a reason why the audience score is so low, and it's because this show is turning out to be absolute trash. Now, this is a hilarious tweet. What I'm getting from this is that they haven't mastered the number 3 yet, because the power of 1, the power of 2, and it should be the power of 3. But no, we get the power of many. Not gonna lie, this new Star Wars show is really rubbing me the wrong way, bro. And I love this franchise, but Disney doing some weird shit, pushing weird agendas. I'm actually sick of what they're doing. All I have to say is J.K. Rowling would never. True. I don't know, guys. This one is just not looking good at all. But hey, Skeleton Crew, later on this year, right? Thanks for being here. We are your Echo Base Network. Let me know in the comments what you thought about The Acolyte so far and its 3rd episode. See you guys on the next one.